All rise. Support court with Judge Vanderby is now in session. Judge, this is case number JVB1078, McKinney case.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You all may be seated. Okay, Ms. McKinney,
Yes, ma'am.
you brought this case before the court. What's going on?
Well, Your Honor, I am here to try to recoup costs that I've incurred with my daughter.
All right.
She's 9 years old. She's been with me since birth, and I'm paying for everything. I've been doing it all on my own.
All right.
Without a problem, but I've been doing it all on my own.
All right. And when you say all on your own, Dad isn't helping out financially at all?
At all.
Okay. And you said your daughter's 9.
Yes.
Is she involved in any type of extracurricular activities? That word always messes me up.
Yes, ma'am. Basketball, track and field, and tennis.
All right. Does Dad pay for any of those?
No, ma'am.
How much are the fees associated annually with each one of those?
Annually, probably roughly $4,700.
All right. Is Dad aware that she's in these?
All right, folks, buckle up. Because from the moment Miss McKinney enters this courtroom, it's clear this case isn't just about money. It's about responsibility. She tells the judge she's raised her 9-year-old daughter entirely on her. No help from the alleged father. 0. And she's not just covering basic needs. She's paying nearly $4,700 a year for extracurriculars like basketball, tennis, and track and field. Would you continue paying for all those activities with no help from the other parent? Or would you draw the line?
Activities, does he attend those?
No, Your Honor.
So he doesn't pay for those?
No.
So what is the backstory? I mean, she's 9, so were you all in a relationship previously? Like what happened?
We were in a situationship for a weekend.
What in the world is that?
Well, it was a little bit more than a one-night stand. It lasted approximately 72 hours. I was on business in Washington, D.C., and he was there for a teacher's conference. I met him at a nightclub.
Ooh,
and
I need to be careful what I ask.
Well, listen, the night grew long, and things happened within the next 72 hours. And so, yeah. That's the extent of it.
Okay, and you got pregnant?
Yes.
Okay. Was he involved in the pregnancy?
Well, he was definitely there.
Well, no, throughout your pregnancy.
Oh, throughout? No, ma'am.
Okay. So you just literally had the baby, no help from him, nothing like that. Did he show up at the hospital?
No, he was late.
Okay. So did you all have a DNA test done?
No.
Does he know he's the father?
He doesn't think that he is, and he's the only Caucasian that I've ever been with, so.
Oh.
Now here's where things get real. The judge asks the obvious. Was this a serious relationship? Turns out it was a situationship that lasted 72 hours. That's right. A 3-day fling during a work trip in D.C., Miss McKinney got pregnant, and ever since she's been doing it all solo. The alleged father, he didn't show up to the hospital. Not for the birth, not for the certificate, nothing. That's not just absence, that's abandonment. Do you think a 3-day situationship changes the level of responsibility here?
He doesn't
Basically.
believe he's the father, which is why he hasn't given you any money.
But he sent text messages, and he sent happy birthdays, things
Okay.
of that nature. How is she doing? So I believe if he didn't care at all, he wouldn't send those text messages. Now, he's done that for the past 9 years. I've just never seen any greenbacks to follow those texts.
Okay. So when he arrived at the hospital, did he sign the acknowledgement of paternity?
No, Your Honor, when I meant he was late, the baby was already a week old at the time. I was already at home. We'd left the hospital. That's what I mean by late.
Oh, so he didn't show up at the hospital at all?
No, Your Honor.
So he didn't sign the birth certificate or any acknowledgement of paternity or anything like that?
No.
Okay. So you're here today to do what exactly?
Well, I was hoping you would be able to help me, first and foremost, establish paternity
Okay.
at this point.
All right.
And
We
possibly
would definitely have to do that before any child support takes place.
Of course,
Okay.
of course.
All right. Is there anything else you want me to know before I move over to him?
No, that's pretty much it. I've just been doing everything on my own. In my heart of hearts, I know that he is the father. I have no doubt. I'm just needing assistance.
Okay. All right. All right. Sir,
Yes, Your Honor.
is what she's saying. Now, let me be clear in my questions because I just realized that I probably shouldn't have asked that question like that. Now, bypass all the 72-hour stuff that she talked about, right? Now, she's pregnant.
She was.
Okay, you were not involved in that process at all. In terms of,
Things only heat up further. Miss McKinney explains the man doubts he's even the father. But here's her reasoning. He's the only Caucasian man she's ever been with. She's confident, even without a DNA test. Meanwhile, he sends birthday, text, but never any money. So he acknowledges the child enough to send sweet messages, but not enough to help her eat, play, or grow. That's a contradiction you can't ignore. Finally, the alleged father speaks. And wow, he wastes no time pointing out that Miss McKinney makes more money than he does, as if that excuses skipping out on 9 years of fatherhood. Then comes his wildest claim. He's sure his newborn with his fiancée is his because the baby is white. Let that sink in. He's dismissing a whole child, possibly his, based on race alone. Is financial inequality ever an excuse not to support your child?
By saying that most of what she said is essentially true. Although there's some giant omissions in there and some things that you need to take into account to get the full picture.
well, does it involve the 72-hour
So
thing?
we were involved approximately that amount of time, yes.
Okay.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I don't want to know any specific
don't
details
worry.
about that.
I'm not here to give you the details of it. I'm just here to tell you that we were in an intimate relationship on and off for about 72 hours, yes.
Okay. So, after you found out she was pregnant, what happened?
Well, first let me add some context to everything before I answer that, Your Honor. She works for the federal government. I'm a teacher. I'm a high school teacher. She
Okay.
makes significantly more money than I do. I make about $60,000 a year. I don't know the exact figure of her annual income, but I know it's a lot more than that. She's in far better position to support her daughter than I would be, and what she's asking for.
You
for
said
me,
her daughter, so you truly don't believe this is your child?
I am willing to accept that it may be, but we've not done a DNA test. What she said about being only with one Caucasian man, I have no way of knowing if that's true. She's lied before to me. So don't take, she was honest with a lot of the stuff she said fairly, but here's a big thing she forgot to mention. I have a son of my own. I have a newborn son, and with my fiance.
Congratulations.
What does
Thank
that
you
have
very
to do
much.
with this?
This is
Well,
what it has.
I allowed you
Okay.
the opportunity to speak. This is his time. And now
ma'am.
I asked you, was there anything else you needed me to know before I moved over to
But I
him?
already know he's gonna push my buttons.
Okay, well, just sit there and don't let him.
The judge doesn't buy any of it. She reminds him the relationship length, the salary gap, even the new baby. None of that matters. A child exists, and that child deserves support. The judge orders a DNA test and lays it out clearly. If he's the father, he's paying support. Can we just give a round of applause to the judge for staying focused on the child? At this point, Miss McKinney's had enough. You can see it in her face. She's tired of the excuses, the finger pointing, the passive-aggressive jabs. Meanwhile, the father continues defending his lack of action with the same excuse. I didn't. No. Emotional peak. 9 years and no real effort, and now he wants us to believe he's the victim?
Now, if for any reason the child does come back, well, the DNA test does come back and you are the father, you will have to start paying child support being ordered today, all right?
Can I respond to that, Judge, if I may? We were in what amounted to a long one-night stand. We never committed ourselves to each other. I wasn't even aware that she gave birth until like a week after it happened.
Lies.
No, I was never told that.
Excuse me, Miss McKinney,
Yes, Your Honor. It's the lies.
it's the buttons. Woosah. Okay? Now, to your point, I was looking here through this Texas family code looking for where it says that you have to be in a relationship with somebody to not have to pay child support, and it doesn't exist.
Well, she never, said. I was under the impression, from what I remember, that she was on birth control. Now, that may be my faulty memory, but I never entered into this relationship with any intention.
Even still, let's just be clear. Birth control or not, a 9-year-old child is here. These are the facts. A 9-year-old child is here who deserves support, not only from her mother, but from her potential father as well. So we are going to reset this matter, get some DNA testing done. So to my original thought, if you are the father, you will start paying child support being ordered as of today, all right? If he is not the father, you can come back to court and petition as many people. Now, don't take that offensive. I'm not saying that you just been with everybody or anything like that, but you can come back and petition as many people as necessary, because this child, as I just stated, deserves to have the support from not only her mother, but from her potential father as well. So, do you all have any questions about what you're going to do?
No, Your Honor.
No.
No? Okay, and you have to make your daughter available for testing as well.
The judge shuts it all down. I looked through the Texas family code, she says, and guess what? Nowhere does it say you have to be in a relationship to owe child support. Boom. Whether or not birth control was discussed, the fact remains. There's a 9-year-old girl involved. It's not about the adults anymore. It's about what the child needs. Period. Do you agree with the judge that the law should focus only on the child, not how the child came to be? The courtroom wraps up with a clear direction. DNA testing will determine paternity, and if the results confirm what Ms. McKinney believes, child support starts immediately. Ms. McKinney agrees to make her daughter available for testing. As the judge is stern, focused, and fair. This isn't just a case of a single mom asking for help. It's a mother demanding accountability after nearly a decade of silence. And it's a judge reminding us all that when it comes to children, excuses don't hold up in court. This courtroom showdown exposed more than just a legal dispute. It highlighted what happens when emotional immaturity meets legal responsibility. Miss McKinney came seeking support, not revenge. The father came with deflection, not facts. But the judge made one thing clear. Personal drama doesn't matter. The well-being of the child does. The court ordered DNA testing, and once the results are in, the outcome could change lives. Want to find out what happens when those DNA results come in? Hit that like button, subscribe for updates, and share this video if you believe every child deserves both love and support. Whose side are you on? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We're reading every single one.